Now that the Cubs have made that trade with the Dodgers to add Brazier to the bullpen, where does that leave the bullpen right now? We're going to talk about the current configuration of the Cubs bullpen moving forward, and also Nico Hoerner. Trade rumors speculated that if the Cubs go out and get Alex Bregman, that Nico Hoerner could be traded to make room for a new second baseman, being Matt Shaw. We'll get into that and more right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Let's get it going. So the Cubs have been making a lot of moves to try to find some help in that bullpen. And what we've seen is that there's a lot of veteran guys, upper 30s pitchers that have had success in the past, and then trying to find a place for them in this bullpen. So when you look at what the bullpen and the construction of that bullpen is currently, you wonder how they're going to fit all of these guys in. And the answer is that they're not. So there's a couple things at work here. First off, when you talk about the sure thing guys in the bullpen, right? Ryan Presley, Cubs traded to get him. He's going to be, if they don't go out and get a premier closer, most likely he'll be the closer for the team. Did that role in Houston, wasn't the closer last year when they went out and signed superstar Josh Hader. But he is going to vie for that role. And he had to, obviously you guys know he had to give up his no trade clause to come to the Cubs. So right-handed pitcher, right-hander Ryan Brazier. They just got him, just traded him from the Dodgers. The Dodgers went out and got Yates. They got one of the best on the market. They felt like he was kind of, somebody that was expendable. Cubs made a deal for him, when he was on waivers, but he's someone that I foresee the Cubs having as some back end help, and they're hoping that he will come back from his calf injury and he'll give them a lot of innings. And, at 38 years old, it's tougher to heal, but you also have it up here, the ability to get outs, right? And it's not like his velo has been dropping. It's not like his stuff's been bad, but I'll tell you, Greg Maddux, I asked him, hey, why'd you quit pitching your arm? And he was like, no, it was my back. So the older you get, the more you deal with that. Now, Maddux was in his 40s, and it was also Greg Maddux, right? But anyway, so those are two guys I feel like are a sure thing. Then there's Tyson Miller. Remember, got him last year from the Mariners, came in. He was so good. I feel like he is definitely someone that the Cubs are going to have. Porter Hodge, who came on strong at the end of last year, unless he comes in and is bad this spring, he was the closer by the end of last season. So I'm thinking Hodge is back. I believe he still has options, but I think that he's back. And then there's Eli Morgan. Remember, they got him as well, was part of the Cleveland, was a great pitcher for them. And then Nate Pearson traded the Toronto Blue Jays to get him last year. And I've heard rumors like maybe Pearson could even start. I don't know if that's the case, but I kind of look at that as your bullpen. But then you got all these other guys, and I think this is what makes the Cubs bullpen really interesting, right? Left-hander Luke Little. Love Luke. Big Little, they call him, right? The left-hander. Throw more strikes. He's going to be a super potent part of the bullpen, but he's got options, and obviously he's a guy that, is going to probably start the year in the minors unless he has an awesome spring. Jack Neely traded the Yankees to get Neely at the deadline. The Yankees loved him. He was a prospect. That was obviously the Mark Leiter Jr. deal. Neely came on at the end of last year, didn't do well in the big leagues, but you feel like he's right on the verge of being a hard-throwing, closing type pitcher. So another right-hander there. A guy I love, Daniel Palencia, who just hasn't been able to figure it totally out in the big leagues, but can throw over 100 miles an hour. You know that Palencia is going to be in there. Then there's Ethan Roberts. Ethan's a small guy with big potential. And I think that what Ethan Roberts brings to the table to me, not only the pedigree as a closer in college and one of the best, but that it doesn't matter what size you are. That's why baseball is such a great game. You could be a small guy and still have big results. I pull for Ethan Roberts, and I'm excited about him. And then there's Gavin Hallowell, who's another guy that you look at and you say to yourself, okay, the potential's there. So Hallowell, a guy that the Cubs picked up as a free agent and someone else that has good stuff, but hasn't really found himself in the big leagues, obviously kind of on that minor league list. But then you look at the Cubs and you go, okay, if that's the bullpen, then what's the starting rotation? And that to me is what's really interesting, right? Because you got like your starting five, which you got to figure is Shota Imanaga, who I see making the opening night start in, out in Arizona, right? Excuse me, in Japan, when the Cubs leave to play the Dodgers in Japan from Arizona. Then you got Justin Steele, Jameson Tyone. And you start going through and you're like, what are some of the other options, right? And you start looking at this Cubs rotation, and you have a whole second set of players that you could slide. So I mean, that you're talking about Matthew Boyd as a starter, Colin Ray as a starter, right? I mean, that you can keep going, right? So you got Imanaga, Steele, Tyone, Boyd, Ray. What about Javier Assad? And then you got Jordan Wicks and Ben Brown. I mean, so you start going through all of these options. Caleb Killian could be back, right? Cody Poteet, the guy that they got back in that sale of Cody Bellinger to the Yankees. So I mean, the Cubs it's like the Cubs have amassed a lot of arms, and they always say you can't have enough pitching. I don't remember a year where the Cubs have had more pitching. Maybe not. There's been years where they've had quality pitching, but quantity, they've got a ton of guys here. And it's going to be interesting to see how this thing all kind of irons itself out. Super Bowl 59 is coming, guys, and I've got my code here. I want to show you this. DraftKings promo code CBC, $5 down gets you $200 in bonus bets. Super Bowl 59 is right around the corner, and it's the perfect time to get in on the action with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, they're giving all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. This is your shot to make every last play a moment to be remembered. Don't wait. Download the DraftKings app now and sign up using the promo code CBC. The crown is yours. Stay in on all the action and use your $200 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at even bigger payouts. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. If sports betting is not available in your state yet, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have a shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings app now. New customers use my promo code CBC and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code CBC only at DraftKings Sportsbook. So we'll continue to talk about the Cubs pitching staff, which I still don't think is complete yet. I got this feeling that the Cubs are going to try to lock down a closer, like a legitimate closer to add with this group of guys. But the one thing I can tell you about having a big group of relievers, and I'm sure I missed some of those guys. Cade Horton, didn't mention him. If he comes back healthy and ready to go, is that it creates competition, and creating competition is fantastic for winning, because if you make it tough to get on the field, everybody's going to want to do their best to get out there and be part of the success that the team is having. Now, part of that is this Alex Bregman situation. And are the Cubs legitimately in on the Alex Bregman free agent sweepstakes? I think they are. I don't know what kind of deal he would get from the Cubs. I saw the Buster only piece on ESPN, and the analytics guys like, hey, it's the worst deal he can make because Wrigley's such a tough park to hit doubles in. Yeah, I get that, but I've seen a lot of guys hit doubles. Didn't slow down Andre Dawson. Ryan Sandberg hit doubles. Chris Bryant hit a ton of doubles. Javi Baez hit doubles. You can hit doubles there, pal. Now, it might be tougher than other places, but you know what? There's nowhere else better to play a baseball game every day than Wrigley. You put that Cubs uniform on and you jog out there, it's different than playing in these other parks. And if he goes to Toronto, he's going to be in there for about 20 games and be like, man, what am I doing? Could have been a Cub. But part of this, and this is what I wanted to get into, is that I just have this vibe. Nico Horner throwing, he's valued as one of the top second basemen in baseball. I could see the Cubs trading him if they do sign Bregman, maybe clear a little payroll, but also because they're going to move Matt Shaw to that second base spot. And some of you were like, why can't we just have both guys? That's a possibility. But I think that the money part of it is one where you just keep hearing that, and I could see them doing that because I think they want to get Shaw's bat in the lineup every day. You just wonder if he's going to be able to hit at the big league level. Now, I've told you this, and I'm gonna reiterate it again. I don't know if Shaw's going to be able to hit, but he will get on base because he's got a great eye, and he'll walk. And I saw him when he struggled in the minor leagues. That was one of the things that he did so well, was that he got on base. And then when he started to figure it out, he showed a lot of pop. So anyway, that's where we are right now. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Cubs baseball channel. We appreciate the gang over at DraftKings. Use our promo code CBC and take advantage of that with the Super Bowl 59 coming up on Sunday. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, get in the comments section. Appreciate you guys again, and we'll do it again tomorrow. I mean, we've been grinding. When's the last time you haven't gotten a show? You tell me that. It's been a while. Go Cubs.